All right, welcome in to a Thursday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Thursday morning. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. We appreciate you being here and starting your day with us, as we are going to talk to Nick Underhill coming up here at 8:15 this morning. Get the latest on the New Orleans Saints camp as they will open up the preseason on Saturday night. Saints we will get our first look at the Saints in action come Saturday night, and it'll be fun to see some of the newcomers. I doubt we see people like Jameis Winston, and it'll be interesting to see if we see Tyrann Mathieu. But we will talk to Nick Underhill about what practice has looked like over the last couple of days. And Nicky, yesterday on the Pat McAfee show, flexing. Great for our platform as the independent Nick Underhill over at NewOrleans.football, the first in line to break away from corporate world and go start on his own site and his own movement, and has created an army and has spread that thing, and it feels like it is the authority on New Orleans Saints information, and that's why we'll go to him at 8:15 this morning.
From the Belichick tree, you broke away.
Absolutely.
Not many can get away.
Yeah, it actually went back.
And be successful, yes.
Yeah, it went back and then broke away again. So Underhill will be here at 8:15 this morning. We'll talk to him. Also have a text into our friend Billy Embody over at On 3 to see just a reaction after last night's commitment by Ricky Collins, and we'll get all into that coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We're driven and powered by Go Chevrolet every single day. Remember, if you're in the market for a brand new car or a used car, Go Chevrolet can help you out. Go Chevrolet's new car lot is located in Laplace, Louisiana, while over here in Baton Rouge they have a used car lot, Go Express Auto Sales, on the corner of Florida Boulevard and Sherwood Forest. Daily, our phone lines brought to you by our friends over at Metropolitan Health Group. Always a shout out to our friends Charles Harvey and Jason Ramazan for supporting what we got going on. Check them out over at Metropolitan Health Group. Real doctors, real solutions. Our friends over at Metropolitan Health Group. Shout out to everybody last night over at Mason's Grill for first and foremost opening up their doors and welcoming in the Woodlawn Panther community and people from around Baton Rouge to celebrate one of a very talented and skilled athlete from our community, but also just a great kid, man. Having a chance to meet and get to know Ricky Collins over the last couple of days, man, it has been a treat to hear his outlook on not only football, but just kind of where he is in life and some of the things that he hopes to accomplish and what this part of his life means. He's got great parents, and his mom, Precious Collins, and Mr. Ricky, Big Ricky. He's got great coaches around him, people like Rohan and obviously Marcus Randall, who's been coaching him for the last 4 years, going into the fourth year over at Woodlawn. But last night was tremendous to see, just a celebration for the kid. Man, everybody was there. Whether it was current day teachers in high school or some of his elementary school teachers, his friends from his mom's work were all around him last night. All of his teammates were there. Shelton Sampson was in the room, so even people and big-time players from around the community. And it was fantastic to see just the good spirits, the good vibes last night. And obviously, I thought the reveal, he crushed it. I thought the announcement, he knocked it out of the park. Ricky reconsidered and flashing the T-shirt, Noah's T-shirt that he rocked in. Noah walked in the studio a couple of weeks back with that T-shirt on. Everybody was kind of looking at the T-shirt, wondering where he got it, where he picked it up. And Ricky and his mom had it on last night to announce their commitment to LSU. And what a grab for LSU. What a get for LSU and what they've done. This class is really shaping up to be, man, really kind of under the radar. We've talked about the similarities, and I kind of keep going back to where the program was back in 2000 when Nick Saban took over, and there was talent at LSU when Saban got here, right? I mean, remember, when he got here, the roster was full of guys like Dominic Davis, LeBrandon Tofield, Rohan Davey. I mean, there were players, Damian James. I mean, there were players, Adrian Mays, on this roster that, were big-time standout players. Saban came in here late, was able to put a class together, a lot like Kelly did, kind of on the fly, back up against the wall. If you remember, his last signee of his first class, Saban's, was Corey Webster. So, I mean, he was able to, get some guys out of the class, but it wasn't a full cycle. He didn't know the lay of the land. The relationships weren't built yet. Then he had a full year to build the relationships, coach his team, get an understanding of where it was. And then he comes back with the number one class in America. Now, Kelly's timeline, a bit different. He was put onto the scene late in the process. They go through spring, and he's able to kind of hit the ground running with this class. And what he's done in the 19 commitments, Ricky's the 19th commitment for the class of 2023, feels very similar to what was happening back at that time when, you could see the players really starting to pay attention what was going on at LSU. Now, Saban really trapped the state at that time, built the wall around the state and got guys like Marquise Hill and Michael Clayton and Marcus Spears as his headliners, but even reached out of the state and got guys like Ben Wilkerson. Guys that came in and played immediately and made instant impacts. Travis Daniels. So, there were people that he was stretched out and recruiting nationally, but here to this class, the way that they are now owning the state, and we'll be at Kylan Jackson's commitment on Saturday at Zachary. And, one thing that we do have as far as our production goes,
Joe Rodriguez.
We're batting 1,000%. We've been at 2 commitments, and both of them have gone to LSU. We're going to be there on Saturday with Kylan Jackson. He'll have a Texas A&M hat on the table, and LSU will be right there next to him. And I feel like LSU is sitting in a good spot going into Saturday's choice. So, what this recruiting class is shaping up to be and what it ultimately could mean to this first run that Brian Kelly can make in his time at LSU, I think will be easy to pinpoint kind of the relationship of the success of the program, being able to get guys like Ricky Collins, closing on guys like Kylan Jackson, being able to to land a guy like Shelton Sampson, a possible flip scenario coming here in a couple of days with the defensive back in Texas. Is it Brovion Adams? Rogers.
Yes.
So it's fun to watch this class coming together, man. And last night being in that room, and really for just real quick for our show, man, we appreciate being able to be involved in that night. I can't tell the Collins family, the Woodlawn Panther community, their principal, Scott Stevens, their head coach, Marcus Randall, just for giving us a seat at the table, an opportunity to be there. And somehow, some way, we've just kind of fallen ass backwards into the recruiting world.
Hey,
but it's awesome.
For the crew.
Yeah, right.
For the crew.
Absolutely.
Job, Stewie.
Absolutely.
Stewie,
Joe Rodriguez,
Noah, Jordy, Katie,
Lloyd, being able to get that get the crowd from Matuk over to the Jordy Culotta show. So last night it all kind of worked out, man, and it's cool to see this class coming together. Now LSU goes in to today's practice, which I'm fired up for because today will give me an opportunity to go in there. It was, look, it's been wild over here building this company, building this business. There's always something that we got to do. And this morning, wiped out the schedule, going to LSU. I want to watch this scrimmage. I want to watch the practice. I want to dig in and really just kind of see where they are at this point in camp. And, we've rarely had this opportunity from a media standpoint to go in there and see extended days of practice at this point in the season. Now, I will tell you that I know that there are reports out there about Garrett Nussmeier and his health right now. I've checked up on that, and the reports are true. I think he's dealing with an ankle injury, something that's happened in his lower leg, an ankle or a foot injury. But by all reports, or not reports because nothing has been reported, but by all the information that I can get, he should be back either by Saturday or mid next week. So it's not something that is dire.
Talk to his daddy.
I think it's something that when it first happened, they thought it could have been bad, but at this point, I think it's very recoverable. I think that it's best case scenario as far as the situation happened, but I don't expect him to be there today. but I do expect him to be back pretty quick. So there is, look, man, camp. This is one of the things that you got to battle in camp, and you got to be aware of. And look, it was freak deal. I don't think it was any type of contact or anything that was, pushing the limits of practice. It's football, man. I mean, for as fragile as you want to treat the game, and for as light as practice has become in football, just in an overall state, I know that there's still contact out there. It's still a very physically demanding sport that, things like this happen all the time. I mean, I'm not telling you anything that anybody out there that covers the game or not covers the game, but just follows the game understands. I mean, this is a part of it. At some point, you're going to have to deal with injuries, and luckily for LSU, and grateful for Nussmeier. I know Nussmeier is grateful for it, that it's not dire. It's not going to knock him out for an extended amount of time. He'd be down for a couple of days and he'd be back. So, I think that's one of the things that you got to navigate through camp. Some other things that I'm hearing out of LSU, and was able to talk in depth yesterday, actually obviously going back and forth with some people from LSU. They were fired up after last night's commitment, and they see what we have going on over here, and really kind of grateful. And obviously the relationships we were able to start with those guys when they came through here on a lot of those staff interviews has been cool to develop and continue, and stay in communication. And obviously they're not by any means telling us anything that's going to put the program in jeopardy or anything that we would report on that. But just some of the things that I am hearing from the early days of the practice field and what's going on, is that this quarterback race is really becoming a two-man race, like we talked about earlier this week, between Nussmeier and Daniels. And now Daniels has a really good opportunity here to really extend or catch up wherever they view that competition at this point. But with Nussmeier down for a couple of days, obviously this gives Daniels a couple of more reps, a couple of more opportunities to run with the ones. One of the names that I'm telling you we're going to have to pay attention to, and a position group that is a area of concern at this point going into the season, is the defensive backfield. A name that has really popped on everybody that I've talked to, and I've talked to a couple of people that have been out there for entire practices, watching intently, going in, watching film, breaking it down, is Colby Richardson. He's the McNeese State transfer in the offseason, a New Orleans native,
McMain.
older guy, has played 5 years of college football, suffered an injury, had a redshirt injury year in 2019, was a redshirt coming out of high school, out of McMain, like Lloyd said, out of New Orleans to McNeese. He entered the portal late, back around February 1st. He was committed to Colorado State, but as soon as he got the call from the Godfather, his former head coach, and Frank Wilson, it was a no-brainer. He was back at LSU, and everybody that I've talked to over there has something positive to say about Colby Richardson now that he's on the field. Again, here, this is a great example. South Louisiana athlete. Put him in a locker room amongst a bunch of alphas where he doesn't feel like, or the perception is he doesn't fit in, he's not supposed to play there, and next thing you know, he's the name that everybody's talking about because of the mentality, and that's what everybody is saying about Richardson. Just dog, competitor, won't get beat. When he gets beat, shakes it off, gets right back for the next rep. So when you're looking at these defensive backs and guys that we were talking about in the offseason, Sevin Banks, Mekhi Gardner, Jarick Bernard, Converse, guys that are coming here expected to play, I think that their time is there. But a name that we didn't talk about a lot is Colby Richardson, and heads up. I mean, he's got a real opportunity, I think, from just the feedback that I've gotten, that he could be one of your starting corners going into the Florida State game. And that would be tremendous at a spot where you're looking for some real quality depth early on. And if a name could kind of come out of the dark and be a starter or a guy that can play a major role for you, that's a hit. LSU hit on one. So heads up for the name Colby Richardson, starting defensive back, not starting defensive back, but a potential starting defensive back for LSU, and somebody that I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on this morning when we go out there. Some other names, obviously the Harold Perkins stories are becoming almost legendary, whether they're out of the locker room or they're on the practice field. Kid's an alpha. You know what I mean? No rookie rituals for Harold Perkins. Not carrying any of the veterans' pads from the practice field to the locker room. I mean, this guy's he's different. His start stop, his ability, quick twitch is big time. I mean, it's impossible to keep him off the field in game one. Does he start on the first series? Maybe not. Is he in there by third down on the first series? Probably so. So, I mean, you know, you were able to really hit on, we mentioned it. You know, you were only able to recruit 15 guys. It seems like they knocked those 15 out of the park. I mean, I'm hearing really good things about LaTerrence Welsh. You know, another defensive back that slowly but surely coming along, right? Still got a million miles to go, but somebody that's, you know, catching it, getting it, understanding it at this level, and can potentially help you out in a position that you need players. You need somebody, you need guys that can back there that you can trust. I mean, we mentioned that at one point you're probably going to look out there and you're going to have 4 transfers in the defensive backfield, whether it's a guy like Richardson at one corner or Seven Banks or Mekhi Gardner or Converse, Greg Brooks, Joe Fuchsia. You know, I mean, you could look back there at any given time and have 4 guys that have come from different programs and have played a lot of football. I mean, they need to get on the practice field and get those reps and get that chemistry. So, you know, more names that pop up that can help you there will be good for LSU.
Do you know of any other injury reports or anybody that you think you won't see out there aside from Nussmeier? Is it, like, I'm talking about in the defensive backfield. Like, do we know, is that why Colby Richardson's getting some burn? Is because, I mean, we've heard Seven Banks has been limited.
Yeah.
You know, people like that, is that what you'd expect to see today, like them still be out?
Yeah, no, look, I think Seven Banks, what I've been told about Seven is that he's coming along very well coming off of his injury. I think that they understood that he was going to be limited to start camp, but they see the flashes. They see it. You know, I think it's only a matter of time before he is cleared and given 100% participation where he'll be on the field full time. But yeah, I mean, things like that, give an opportunity to a guy like Colby Richardson to step up there and, and play early on. So, again, though, but 22 is different. 22 years old in college football is a way different mentality than even a kid like Perkins, who's 18 years old. He's coming in here, and some of the things and some of the speed and some of the competition he's never seen. He's so athletic and so gifted that he's just naturally adapting kind of into where his natural climate and, environment is. I mean, a guy like Colby Richardson, he still comes in here with a little bit of doubt. You're playing at a different level of football. You're not playing on this stage. But I'm 22 years old, and I'm coming out of the city of New Orleans, and I've been doubted my whole life, and I know I can play. I mean, that's the mentality that he takes to the practice field every single day. And how many times have we seen it? I mean, whether it's Deion Jones or Foster Morrow, I mean, kids that come out of New Orleans that are the 25th signee to LSU's class, usually you look up and they're wearing 18 or they're down on the field, making big plays. And, to me, this is the type of kid that is. He just happens to be 22 years old now, which is a huge plus for a football team. The more 22-year-old impact players you can have. I know, what was our guy's name? The Harvard transfer, the center? Liam Shanahan. I know he was a great dude and an experienced guy and was an older guy, but still 22 with that type of capability, that doesn't help you. 22 if you can guard one-on-one. He sounds like he's having some success against guys like Neighbors, Booty, guys that are out there that are big-time playmakers that are really jumping off. So
that's what I'm excited to see today.
Yeah.
One-on-ones.
Yeah, do you know the format of today? considering we've never really had access.
No,
like
I mean,
last time we got full practice, it was like they started like they normally start. They did their drills, individual stuff, and then they moved to like a one-on-one goal line type setting, and then they moved to a team
11 on 11.
Yeah,
Let's go. You'll find something out. You'll learn something.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
We'll get something.
Yeah. No, there's going to be a lot to see out there this morning. You know, I think Besh is coming along at a pace that they feel very comfortable with.
What about Chris Hilton? 'Cause he's been on the side
Yeah,
too.
Chris Hilton's coming along. You know, I mean, those guys got to get reps. Those young guys got to get reps. But, I mean, I know the staff loves Malik Neighbors. They're in love with Neighbors. Booty is, you know, Kayshawn. I mean, he's going to be there. He's going to be fine.
But Jure, he missed a day.
I haven't heard anything about Jure as far as
Good.
injury goes.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun to get out there this morning and see some of the names and what's going on out there as far as, you know, just the competition. Phillips Clinton, the media bias is ridiculous against LSU. If LSU signs a 5-star, the next day he will be downgraded to a 4-star. It happens all the time. Yeah, look, man, I understand that, but Phillips, if you are following recruiting, I'm not going to tell you how to follow it, but you got to take your emotion out of that stuff. Because one thing that LSU continuously does is like their 25th guy, Russell Gage was their 25th signee. Deion Jones was their 25th signee. Duke Riley was their 25th signee. All three of those guys are on NFL rosters today. You know, I mean, it's just, you can always slight and, you know, take away stars from LSU signees if you want. But behind closed doors, you can ask every college coach in America if you take their roster, and 100% of them would run through a brick wall for it. Right? So, I mean, I get it. You know, I mean, I used to get pissed about stuff like that, about the disrespect that LSU would get on a national stage, or whether it was, you know, like taking away stars from a guy that was, you thought was a 5-star type caliber player. But when it all shakes out, when they get on the field, it all kind of works itself out. I mean, who would have thought that LSU would have had 10 guys drafted in last season's draft after the way they've played, what their record was? It's just because they got freaks, man. It's got freaks that you can put 3 or 4 stars on, but when it comes down to it and the lights go on, they can all play. Or at least the majority of them can. And I think that's that's the type of player Colby Richardson is. You know, I mean, it's just like, yeah, you can slight me. You can think that I don't belong here, but let's play. Put me out there against Kayshawn. Let me guard Malik Neighbors. Put me head up on Brian Thomas. It don't matter who you throw at him. He's just a competitor, and he believes that he's the alpha. And he believes everybody in the arena is doubting him. And if I'm building a football team, I want as many of those cats as I can find. The ones who feel like everybody in the world don't believe they should be here. And that was I saw somebody say, what happened to this? Who is this guy talking about positive? What happened to Jordy? The sky is falling. I mean, if you're going back to that recruiting rant, it's just about getting Louisiana kids. That's all that was talking about. You got to have success outside of the state. I'm not saying that you can't reach out and go grab Jalen Brown, a 5-star wide receiver out of Miami. Hell yeah, you'll take Dwayne Bowe again, right? But like Shea rattled off the list of wide receivers that's been drafted over the last decade plus here, you don't have to search too long and wide across the country to find pros at a lot of spots. That's all really that the rant, the melt, the freak out was about, was just, hey man, I've seen it time and time again. So have you. So has everybody out there who's listening. LSU's national championship wins and appearances are built on the nucleus of the roster being from Louisiana. It's not a debate. I'm not trying to argue with you. And I'm not saying what Brian Kelly and his staff are doing it wrong, because I just spoke too early in the game. They reached out nationally first, and then they brought it back local. Because they're sweeping the floor right now locally. I mean, I believe they're going to get Kylan Jackson on Saturday. I think Zalance Hurd, when he's ready to announce at whatever point that is, that's going to be for LSU. I think Kai Preen is going to announce to LSU. I mean, you close with that type of class, you're looking at a top 3 class in America with a great collection of national and local stars. I mean, there's no criticism being thrown around. There's nothing that you can say that this staff is not, is not doing. They're doing fantastic work.
And it was just an approach that we weren't used to, right? Yeah. Considering how we've always looked, especially coming off an Ed Orgeron tenure where it was so much build defense around Louisiana. That was his pretty much his calling card. That's what got him hired. Was he's like, I'm going to have the ability to recruit the state, to understand the importance of the athletes here and how LSU wins championships, and he did it. But then you saw how this staff was put together nationally. They took all of the people that were still on their board, that they had relationships with, and threw on the LSU polo and said, look, now, I'm in a better spot than I was when I was at, X school. Like, now I can get these guys that are still nationally regarded. That's just not the way that we were used to seeing LSU recruit. You mix in a Cortez Hankton, the Godfather, Frank Wilson, and you start seeing, all right, let those guys marinate in Louisiana. Let them go do their thing when they get down to New Orleans, when they talk to kind of the kids that LSU usually gets. And then it just took longer than we thought.
Yeah.
And I understand, when people were like, oh, the sky is falling. It's like, that's not what we were really trying to convey. It was more of, let's make sure we get some of these cats in house. You saw what Shea Dixon said yesterday with the LSU wide receivers. Every single one of them that's been in the NFL is from Louisiana. Those are the cats you just got to get.
And let me just say this. Leaving that place last night and seeing Jordan Matthews in person, one-on-one, that guy is an LSU defensive back. That's what LSU DBs look like. And I'm just going to give you my personal experience last night in just kind of taking it all in the whole night. Right, is that Jordan Matthews is going to announce where he's going to college on Monday. And I believe he's going to pull the Texas hat. Nobody told me that. I've talked to a couple of recruiting insiders, and they all kind of feel nobody knows for certain, but it'll be Texas, Tennessee, and Michigan with a hat on the table for Jordan Matthews. So LSU, the perception of it is that LSU is nowhere in the picture. I got news for you. Behind the scenes, LSU's doing work on Jordan Matthews. And a lot of that work is repairing just the start of how this relationship began. Right? His dad, Rashawn Matthews, is a former player at LSU. A guy that went to LSU, played at LSU, and still prideful for LSU. Last night, in fact, Ricky Collins stood there and took a picture with everybody who asked him for a picture and waited until the last person left, taking pictures with everybody who wanted one. Kids, teachers, friends, family, sibling, everybody who wanted a picture, he stood there and took one. He took one with the Matthews family.
Throw up the L.
The entire Matthews family, who Ricky and Jordan have been really good friends since I believe they've been kids, 6th grade, 5th or 6th grade. They went to 8th grade together, went to Woodlawn together. They've been playing high school. Probably so. I don't want to speak out of turn. They've been friends for a long time. You can see it. There's a lot of love between the families. So the Matthews step up, and they take a picture with Ricky, right? And Precious Collins, who's got a great personality, is like, throw the L's up. And, Ricky throws the L's up. And Rashawn Matthews, Jordan's dad, throws the L's up and says, I can throw the L's up for as long as I want because I am LSU. And you can sense that he still loves that he is a part of the LSU football fraternity. Jordan's mom, on cue, throws the L's up. And everybody's kind of like, yeah. And she's like, well, I'm doing it for Ricky. I'm just doing it for Ricky, right? Mm-hmm. And even Jordan, this is my I'm not reporting anything. Nobody said anything. I didn't ask him anything. But you could see Jordan just kind of looking around like, look at all this local love that Ricky's getting. My best friend, is getting. Knowing after talking to the LSU coaching staff over the last couple of days, that all these cats are doing work on Jordan Matthews. It's not just Robert Steeples and Kerry Cooks. I mean, like, they are going after Jordan Matthews. Frank Wilson, Cortez Hankton, Brian Kelly, the whole crew, right? Like, if you remember a couple of years ago, Ogeron took the entire staff to Jamar Chase's house. There's a video, a piece of video of like a Mercedes Sprinter van pulling up to the Chase's house, and the door opens up, and like Dave Aranda's the first one off the bus. Like, he brought the entire staff to Jamar Chase's in-home visit just to show him, hey man, we're all in.
Talk to it, daddy.
We got to get you. That's what I kind of like. That's what after like hearing the LSU side talking to the Matthews side, like, that's where they are. Like, Matthews is not going to choose LSU on Monday. It's not going to happen. He's not even going to have a hat on the table for LSU. But I'm telling you, before signing day, LSU is going to make it tough for Jordan Matthews to leave Baton Rouge. And if he does it, good for him. His heart's in the right place, and he can go off to, I believe, will be Texas and shine. Because I'm telling you, if you have not seen Jordan Matthews play, if you've only seen him on film and not seen him in person, he is DBU. He is how you sketch him, bro. I mean, like, he looks like Pat Pete. I mean, he looks like Travis Daniels. He looks like Corey Webster. He looks like him.
And he actually got bigger.
Yes, he's gotten bigger. I mean, all up in his neck and his traps and his shoulders. I mean, he looks like a grown young man. Like, he looks like he is like budding into a superstar. I mean, then you look at his dad standing next. His dad still looks like Adonis. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, his dad looks like he could give you 30 snaps tonight if you needed it. So, I mean, I'm just saying the Jordan Matthews stuff it's going to suck on Monday. He's not going to pull an LSU hat. LSU's not going to be on the table. He wants to make the announcement before going into the senior year. Woodlawn's going to be fun to watch this year. But I'm telling you, LSU's going to make it tough for Matthews to leave Baton Rouge without knowing that they really want him, because the relationship didn't start off great for whatever reason. And I'm not pointing backwards, but that's just where the current staff is. They're repairing the relationship to a point where you can get to a decision, like give them a real option. You know, I think that's really kind of what I kind of sensed that last weekend with Jaden Alsbury. You know, like, Jaden Alsbury was never going to LSU. Never. But I even think over the last couple of years, it probably was an easy choice for him to say, I'm leaving. I'm like, I'm not going to LSU. Like, look at it. It's a train wreck. Like, everybody would understand if I left, right? But now having a chance to talk to the new staff and be recruited by Frank Wilson, who's a family friend of the Alsburys, not just because of his relationship with Verge. Frank grew up with Jaden's mom in New Orleans back when they were kids. So, I mean, he's been able to really kind of get in, dig his feet in, and really kind of, recruit that relationship too, where, I mean, that's more like a brother-sister, brother-brother type relationship between him and the Alsburys rather than a, recruiting guy talking to you about your son playing football at LSU. And you could see last week Alsbury sitting in Catholic High's gym, seeing all of the local love for a Baton Rouge kid and Shelton Sampson that all of these cats have played together with. Verge sent me a picture right after Shelton committed of all of these kids like on the same basketball team when they were 11 years old. Shelton, Jaden Alsbury, all these guys here locally that are shining now as seniors in high school. They've all known each other since they were kids. So, I mean, to be in that environment and be in your home city and see one of your best friends who you've gone through all these experiences with be celebrated for choosing the local university has to hit the 18-year-old in the gut and the heart. And last night, just observing the room, taking it all in for our company, for the night, for everybody that was involved in it. When I saw Jordan Matthews, that was the feeling I got. Was just kind of like, man, look at all this love. Look at all these people I know. Look at all these people I'm familiar with. Look at all these people I would love to run out of the tunnel on Saturday night in Tiger Stadium and know that they're all sitting in the players in the friends and family section. with my purple and gold jersey on. You know, I mean, Precious Collins can't wait for that moment, right? And she was exuding that last night, and it was an environment and a, just a atmosphere that was, it was awesome. There was good energy. There was great vibes. Everybody was smiling, laughing, taking pictures, high-fiving, hugging. I mean, it was cool to be a part of. And the sense I got is that Jordan Matthews isn't picking LSU on Monday. In fact, LSU's probably not even going to have a hat on the table on Monday. But behind the scenes, it ain't over. It ain't over, and before he leaves for Austin in January, he'll be an early enrollee, just like Ricky will be on LSU's campus in January as a spring enrollee. Is that if Jordan Matthews leaves and decides to go to Texas, before he leaves in January, he's going to have a lot to think about leaving his hometown. And that's all you can ask for from Frank Wilson and the crew and the LSU staff, because they got the pedal to the metal on Jordan Matthews. And they're going 100 miles an hour every single day that they can legally talk to him in recruiting in college football. They will be in his DMs. They will be texting him, calling him. As soon as they can talk to him face-to-face, they'll be at Woodlawn. When they can go in home on him, they'll be in home on him. When he can come to LSU, he'll have an open invite to be there whenever he wants to be. Whenever he wants. Woodlawn has a little bit of purple in their color code. He'll probably be wearing LSU offered gear in the fall. Purple and gold cleats. Purple and gold gloves. Whatever you want, bro.
Makes that 7 look great, too.
Whatever you want. He looks so good.
I think he wears it for Pat P, too.
He looks just like Pat Pete coming out of high school. I'm telling you, if you stood next to him last night, he's like a piece of granite.
Coach, when I pulled up to Woodlawn the first time, to cover Woodlawn, and I saw him, I was like, is he a receiver?
He could be.
He's so long.
He could be.
But then you see him play defensive back, and it's like, wow, this kid is, like, better than a lot in the country.
I'm telling you, he looks like DBU. I mean, he looks like DBU. Shout out to the Woodlawn crowd out there last night. A lot of love in the Woodlawn community, including Pastor Fitzpatrick Pitts, who led off last night with a great prayer. He's over at the Anchor Church here in town locally, and a listener of the show. It's great to meet people like him and his son last night who are around Woodlawn and the community over there, and you just see all the love coming out of there, man. Rex Poe, Jordy, are you telling me LSU is going after Jordan Matthews? I am, Rex. I am. Did I go a little overboard there by trying to prove my point? But yes, I believe that it's full steam ahead. I mean, he's, as you start to pluck off these local guys, off the board, as Caleb Jackson comes off the board at Liberty, as Ricky Collins comes off the board at Woodlawn, as Kylan Jackson feels like he'll come off the board on Saturday. You start to, that pool of names is starting to shrink, and Jordan Matthews' name is starting to really be highlighted as the guy that they are all wanting to go after, repair the relationship, and at least have a chance before signing day to have LSU in the discussion. And I think if they can get there, they could win it. They could win out. And you start adding guys like Zalance Hurd and Jordan Matthews to this class, and you're talking about potentially
number one class.
Could be.
you gotta give it.
You gotta put it out there.
And you have to think that the relationship is obviously getting better if Ricky Collins is committing to LSU. Like, obviously the bridge is being built. It's just, is that a bridge too far for Jordan Matthews? Like, what relationship would be so fractured that they couldn't, or is it just too late in the game?
I think that LSU, when they got the job, they felt like it was too late in the game. But they have done work. Look, this staff, if one thing they have proven, we have not yet seen them in-game action, on the field, game planning, in-game, making in-game adjustments, all of that stuff that you evaluate your coaches on or want to see from your coaches. One thing that we can't debate anymore is that they can all recruit. All of these guys can recruit. And I'm not just talking about the on-the-field guys. I mean, the behind-the-scenes guys like Carter Sheraton, Sherman Wilson, Jordan Arsenal, all those guys that we had a chance to talk to that came through here. I mean, that department is worth its weight in gold, man. I'm telling you, it has really, all these guys that you talk to. I mean, those are like the frontline guys that are building these relationships and starting these conversations that are allowing Kerry Cooks and Robert Steeples and Jamar Kane and Frank Wilson and Cortez Hankton and Mike Denbrock and Matt, all of these guys to do work. Brian Kelly. I mean, sounds like Kelly's a closer, bro. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah, come here. Come here, son.
sit down.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Have a
it's
seat right over here. Doors open.
But I mean, Rowe actually asked Ricky and Jordan last week on his show if they talk about playing together, and they both said yes. So I would think that Ricky, now that he's in the LSU boat, he would start recruiting Jordan, telling him, look, like where else would you want to do
Bro,
this?
you
at?
could see it last night.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Like I know that we get caught up in like the LSU love or whatever, but it really is different down here. Yeah. Like you could see like the fanfare. You could see Jordan Matthews looking around the room and being like,
This could be awesome.
This could be awesome. This could be me.
Well, I mean, like, not only is the quarterback Ricky Collins, but it's like Shelton Sampson showing up. And look, I've always thought that Shelton is a really quiet dude. Like, I've never seen that part. You could see that, like, he's had, like, some weight lifted off of his shoulders. Like, he's in a really good space. You know what I mean? He's in a good spot where, I mean, I don't know Shelton, but my interpretation of Shelton was that he was just a kind of, quiet dude that kind of kept to himself and, did his thing. I've never seen him around his peers like that without his football helmet on. So to see him in a social setting last night, you can see, I mean, look, man, Ricky Collins is a natural-born leader. Mm-hmm. Like, you could see last night when he walked into the room. I mean, not only did, like, the adults, the teachers, the administrators, the coaches, the principal, all kind of like, show him, like, sincere respect. Like the 17 and 18-year-old kid, the peers, you know what I mean, who's a very tough crowd to crack. Especially if you're one of them, you could see just the respect that they had for the kid, for the guy, and that is what I want in my quarterback. Just the natural walk into the room and everybody look. And when they do look, they're like, damn, who's that? Like he carries himself. He looks confident, good-looking kid, got a smile on him. And the next thing you know, he opens his mouth to talk and you're like, damn, bro, I like this guy. I mean, that's the kind of personalities you want representing your school. And then if he turns out to be a really good quarterback, well, I mean, you've hit a home run, man. And he's going to attract talent with him. I was on a radio show the other day in Virginia. They were asking me about Purdue. They were asking me about Ricky Collins with Purdue up there. And I was like, look, man, I don't mean to burst anybody's bubble, but he was never going to Purdue.
I didn't think so.
Like I asked the guys, I was like, have y'all ever been to South Louisiana? One of the guys was like, I went down to Mardi Gras one year. And I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, well, guess what, buddy? Today, it's 105 with 100% humidity. Come down here and hang out for a week. You know what I mean? Like Ricky Collins has grown up in this. The first day he sees 20 degrees and snow, Coach, he's calling his mom with tears in his eyes.
I'm not going to
come
today.
Get me. Like, come pick me up.
All I brought was slides and shorts.
You're the starting quarterback. I don't care.
I'm not coming.
I want to go home.
I didn't bring sleeves.
Like, I was like, if Purdue was smart, they should have gotten a couple of wide receivers off of his commitment and thanked him. You know what I mean? Like, appreciate you committing to us for the last 8 months. We were able to get a couple of scat backs and a tight end out of it. You're welcome. I'm going to LSU. Like, I mean, he was never going to LSU. I mean, to Purdue. And I'm not saying he was always going to LSU, but he was never going to West Lafayette, Indiana. I mean, like, it ain't happening. He was, first off, don't take this the wrong way. He's too good. I mean, like, he's way too good to go sit up there and be tucked away in the snow. I mean, I could have lived with him going to Miami.
Yeah.
USC, Texas A&M, Texas.
But Purdue?
He ain't going to Purdue, man.
Purdue was waking up every morning going,
he ain't going to Purdue.
I can't believe I'm sleeping with this.
Yeah,
like, she's going to leave me someday. Every day's a blessing.
Really hot girlfriend.
Yeah, it's like.
And it's like you
This ain't going to last.
Yeah, bro.
No chance with it. It's like,
absolutely.
Like,
take me to the Met. You know what I mean? Like, you got a couple of courtside tickets to the game tonight? I'll go sit with you.
I am broke.
I can't even.
I can entertain you for a week.
Even buy
Never
a water
going to
here.
Purdue.
Remember we went on dates? Like, oh, we can't do that.
I knew LSU was going to get him, or I knew he was going to flip when he said, I'm locked into Purdue 2 months ago.
He couldn't even convince himself.
Yeah, right. We're like,
Speak it into
Ricky.
existence.
Come on, Rick. But, I mean, like, it was – he's where he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yes.
It's funny. I told him that last year. Like, right when
He knew.
When he committed to Purdue, I
Joe,
said,
when they hired Joe Sloan, it was
I said,
over.
Ricky, you know you're going to LSU, right? Like, I don't know why you just playing around with Purdue, playing with people's feelings. And he was like, man, I ain't going to LSU.
When they
Fast
hired Joe,
forward.
I'm telling you, when they hired Joe Sloan, it was over.
It was done.
Sloan, he got Sloaned.
Yeah.
I mean, like, straight up. Ricky got Sloaned because Sloan did a great – Sloan believed he was going to get him in Ruston. You know what I mean? Like, that was the thing. Like, Marcus Randall was telling me, he was like, Joe Sloan thought he was going to go to Louisiana Tech. That's the beautiful thing about Sloan, though.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, I mean, don't listen to Sarkisian. That's what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Come to Tech. You know what I mean? Like,
Go to
something
Texas.
here.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. I mean, just
Road to glory,
that's
son.
the beautiful thing about Sloan. You know what I mean? But now Sloan's at a place where, I mean, like, it's right here. You know what I mean? Like, what else you want?
Right.
So, I mean.
Got a bed in your locker.
Yeah, right. I mean, so it's staff has done some work, bro. They've done some really good work on the recruiting trail. Daily, we're brought to you by Edward Jones. Remember Edward Jones, our guy Daniel Newman over there, Daniel.Newman@edwardjones.com. If you work within the plant industry and you are looking for a little advice about finances on where you should invest, on what's going on with life after work, get in touch with Daniel Newman. Daniel.Newman. Got great experience in that field. You see the website, Daniel.Newman@edwardjones.com. He's located out in Central over there across from Stab. Stop in and see him today in the office. Odds are he'll buy you lunch across the street. Talk your head off with a lot of basketball talk, but it'll also give you sound financial advice. He's our friend. He's our financial advisor. Get in touch with him. Daniel.Newman@edwardjones.com. Daniel.Newman@edwardjones.com. About 10 minutes from now, we are going to talk to Nick Underhill and get the latest from Underhill over at Saints Camp, as it's interesting to hear what's going on over there with this wide receiver core and Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry, obviously Mike Thomas, Taysom Hill being the primary pass catcher at tight end right now, but even some of the names that are popping at tight end. Jawan Johnson sounds like he's having a really good camp. Adam Troutman has had some flashes of a really good camp here early on. So a lot to catch up with Underhill on some of the competition out there before the Saints hit the preseason for game number 1. Excuse my ignorance. Who do they play Saturday night?
The Texans. You talking about the Saints?
Yeah.
Play the Texans.
Gross.
At Derek Stingley.
Yeah.
Sting
Sting
get a little
show.
burn.
Speaking of looking like a pro. My God.
Think he's gonna get a little burn Saturday, this weekend. Sting?
Will they burn him?
No, I'm saying, like, will he play?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
We play offense?
Games in Houston.
Can he play offense?
Talk to his daddy.
Talk to his daddy.
Right.
It's like they're gonna play offense.
He wants to play both ways. Return kicks. He might return punts probably in the. Do you think he returns punts in the regular
Ooh,
season?
that's a good. I don't know.
Because Pat P did it his first year. I mean, he won games for Arizona. He's in
He
the
won
Hall
the
of Fame
first
for it.
game of his career.
He fielded that one inside the 5. Like, what are
First
you
game,
doing?
yeah.
Like,
Cam
about to
versus
run
Cam.
it back. Yeah.
Cam was the first
They
pick.
turned him completely around.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And he did the prime time into the end zone.
He did.
Still stay full speed.
He
Sports
did.
science.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, now you're too good to return. He played offense too. His first year at Arizona.
Yeah, he threw a couple passes.
did.
And ran.
He did. They would run him on like a wildcat.
I mean, they were so bad. They needed.
were.
Like, can
Yeah.
we just eke out a couple wins here, Pat? Like, put that thing back on, go out there. Like, all right, unbelievable.
Throw it up to
Sting could do the
Fitz.
same thing.
No doubt.
saying.
Yeah, Sting. It would be. I mean, it was.
Lovie Smith ain't scared.
It was
What's he
sad-
got to
it was
lose? He shouldn't
sad
even
that
have
you-
the job.
It was sad that you never saw Stingley break one.
I know.
Closest he came was the first one.
The closest he came was the first one he
He was
caught.
dragging that man.
Georgia
with his
Southern?
foot. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he broke it.
Me too. I was like, oh, we get 3
He
years
made
of
a few
this.
moves. I was like, oh.
He's
oh my
gone.
God.
And
oh
he
my
had
God.
he had.
Because he caught it on the run.
I was about to say he had zero intentions of fair catching that. No
No-
matter
no
where. it was.
way.
He was
Oh, come
Pac-Man
on. No
Jones
way.
in that thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Inside the
taking this
5.
one. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. What could have been?
But I hope I see him break one in the NFL. And then the Saints yesterday with the just football pornography.
Oh,
I mean, good Lord. Jesus.
Trying to set up for a remote. And
God, man.
porn sent to me.
Just looking at that picture with my pants around my ankles. Tyrann Mathieu and Jarvis Landry.
Well, I was just looking at the Jarvis Landry one, then Tyrann popped
I
up.
know.
And I was like, oh.
Good Lord. I thought I was crushing hard last week.
There's the lube.
Yeah, right. Got
not
me
done
doubling
yet.
up. Hey,
Not
fellas,
done yet.
I'm going to have to cut this meeting a little short here, fellas.
What's that on your screen?
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Had an emergency picture come through here. Clear the room.
Might not be able to look at that at work.
Jesus. Pull it up, Stewie, for God's sakes.
It is up.
Yeah, right. Stays up. I hope that everybody has seen this. If you have not, check this picture out from New Orleans Saints Twitter account and social media yesterday. Two of Louisiana's finest, two of Louisiana's favorites, Jarvis Landry out of Lutcha and Tyrann Mathieu out of New Orleans, standing side by side with their LSU helmet, locked and loaded in their Saints gear, visors on.
J's on.
Tyrann is locked into 32. I don't know if we reported this officially, but earlier this week it's come out. He is going to wear number 32. So if you want the Mathieu jersey, it is official, up for sale over at wherever you pick up your jersey. I don't even know where you buy it. NFL.com.
I can't go to Dick's.
$100 jersey.
Get your Ron Mexico jersey as well.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I love the little armband too.
The armbands,
That's
the
nice
J's. I mean, like, how creative are they going to be with their cleat game? Once they like weeks 8, 9, and 10 when they're in it, they're going to bust something out that you're just like, look at this look.
I know
All
Tyrann has
black.
the all whites,
God.
gold. He probably has some black and whites. Just,
All J's.
I didn't know that Jarvis was a Jordan athlete.
I think he just got the deal like 2
Welcome to
years
the
ago.
club, Juice. I mean, to
Michael
see
Thomas,
these two
Jarvis
guys,
Landry, and Tyrann
good
Mathieu.
Lord.
All
The
Jordan
brand is
gear.
strong.
Yeah, and Sean Payton was Jordan.
Yeah, he got kicked out the club.
Later, bro.
Yeah.
Wait, he's not Jordan anymore?
That don't matter.
No, I don't even know. I'm not even worried
know what
about
they
it
wear in
anymore.
Miami.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Boat
beat your-
shoes.
Beat your ass when you get to Dallas next
Yeah.
year.
Mike McCarthy's
In your
just,
visor.
he probably put in his 2 weeks
Dennis
already.
Allen's a visor guy.
Yeah. Ryan Kelly. We're a visor state.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Kelly, how long has Kelly always been a visor guy? I didn't pay that much attention.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's always been big visor guy.
good head of hair to pull off the visor. You got to
Gotta
have
have it.
Yeah, you got to have the
wouldn't
thick
know.
up top. I do not have the. Lloyd, you got a great visor, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Great
I do. I'm
visor,
a
dude.
visor guy.
Yeah,
You got double step.
hide that forehead.
That's right.
Brian Kelly hides at practice too. He
I kind of like that.
he stays very very low key, keeps a low pro. Like
He's taking it all in.
sometimes you don't even know he's out there. Like when we were out there the first day, we literally didn't see him until like at the 30-minute mark.
It's
of
the
our
it's
filming.
what is he, CIA? Isn't that the
Yeah.
yeah, it's the CIA in him, dude. He's observing. He's taking it all in, one step at a time. I
Comes out
see
the
you.
shadows.
I'm not looking, but I'm watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't
Speaking.
have to worry about that. And Scott Woodward anymore. You don't have to. He's not looking over his shoulder. He's like, oh,
Scott's
man.
still at practice,
oh,
though.
man.
He's
Ed was like,
I think
oh,
Scott just
no.
loves it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like,
You know what I mean?
I'm
Like-
in it.
I think he was babysitting
That's the type of
last
AD
year.
I would be.
Yeah,
you know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like
That's what I'm
sitting in
hearing.
on the recruiting meetings,
That football
on the practice
man.
field. You know, just like walking around, like, what's going on? Like, nothing.
Just hanging out.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
working.
What do y'all think about Jordan Matthews? I think we need to get him. You know what I mean? Can I help in any way?
You want me to call his dad right
Yeah,
now?
right. Is there anything I can
Talk to his
do?
daddy.
Anybody talk to Gordon McKernan lately?
Yes, I have.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Actually,
yes.
he's right here.
Yeah, right. I walked into Phil's 2 days ago. Scott was sitting with, two of the heaviest hitters in the state.
Told you
Right?
not to
So, I
tell
mean,
him I
like,
went to
you know what I
lunch.
mean? He knows what's going on, bro.
Yeah.
We got LSU is in
Cut this shit
great
real quick.
Yeah.
hands right now. Speaking of Tyrann, one thing that I don't know, we did not talk about it. Yesterday was a decade ago when they threw him off the team.
Wow.
10 years ago to the day that they excused Tyrann Mathieu off of the LSU football team. And what a comeback, bro. What a turnaround. I still remember the day. I really do. I was over at Guarantee Broadcasting, which is right down the street from our FM digital media studios, when we got an emergency email that a press conference had been called inside of LSU football ops and that we had to be there within 30 minutes. I called somebody who I knew up in the football department. I said, what's going on? And all he could say was, you don't want to miss this, and hung up. And I thought to myself, man,
What
like,
could be going on?
are they going to fire Les Miles? Did Les Miles do something? I remember thinking, like, this could be a great day.
Yes.
This could be fantastic. This is about to be incredible. I mean, I was like, me and Moscona, all of us
Lil Jay,
walking
wake
down.
up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
shaking everybody in bed. Like, this could be it. This could be Christmas morning. There's an emergency press conference over at LSU. What do you think it is? Gordy, do you think they're going to fire him? I was like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And I remember it was storming, raining. Like it has been over the past couple of weeks here in South Louisiana. I mean, like torrentially downpouring. Couldn't see through your windshield type rain. And I was taking River Road on the way there and got a text message from somebody in the room, and they said, I think it's about Tyron. And I thought, what, did he get like on a preseason, like are they about to announce like all these preseason national awards that he's on? Because if you recall, this week, 10 years ago, Tyron Matthew was on the cover of both Sports Illustrated and ESPN the magazine as the feature athlete on their college football preview. The story had been published. The honey badger. They had written all about him, right? I mean, like he was coming. He was coming to take the game over. The publication hit newsstands on Tuesday. On Thursday morning, Les Miles walked into the LSU football operations facility, looked into a sea of media members. It almost felt like a media day type event when you walked in there. They did it in the team meeting room over at the LSU football operations facility, and nearly half the room, 3/4 of the room was taken up. Cameras all along the camera bay, people sitting in all sections of the seats waiting, and Les Miles walked in and delivered the message that Tyron Matthew had been thrown off of LSU's football team. And I'm telling you, there was a gasp in the room as if he had just announced that somebody had died.
How did he say it?
I forget how he said it, but I think he said something like, we're here today to announce that Tyron Matthew is no longer on the LSU football team. And it was like I mean, it was you could hear an audible type, like deep breath in the room. And then like at that point you hear like cameras shuttering, pictures being taken. I mean, people are like typing, you can hear, like everybody's like typing on their computer, you're like, and I just remember like sitting there thinking like, no fucking way.
Les is pulling one.
No way. No way this is happening. I mean, this was, what was it? It was August 10th? I mean, the season started 3 weeks from like that day, almost 3 weeks to the day.
Middle of fall camp. Not even in the middle.
It was a day that I remember I was staggered walking out of that press conference, almost like a boxer. Yes, absolutely. Remember walking into the rain and like the rain just like covering you and not even like running or trying to get through it. It was almost like you were the Walking Dead moving to your vehicle, like thinking like, what? Because all of the buildup of that team was that LSU was going to win the Natty. Like they were bringing back this defense. Tyron Matthew was coming back. They were pissed off about the way the season had ended in the Dome versus Alabama. They had gotten a quarterback. Zach Mettenberger was going to be the guy under center. Odell, Jarvis, I mean, like they're loaded. They're loaded. And, bro, they threw the honey badger off the team for weed. And I know that it has turned out, couple of All-Pros, Super Bowl champion, leader of the Saints defense now. 10 years later, I'm all in. Thank God it's turned out for this, and thank God for his family and all of the positive that maybe even that moment sparked for him. But it still will always be the greatest what if, and I will always say if Saban was the coach at LSU or if he was on Alabama's campus and whoever walked in and delivered that message, whether it was somebody from compliance or whether it was somebody from the athletic administration, and they told him on August 10th, you have to throw Tyron Matthew off the team, he'd have said, get the fuck out of here and pack all your shit. You're fired. It still to this day is amazing to me that Tyron Matthew at that point got thrown off of LSU's football team even a decade ago for weed. I mean, like, it's just maddening to even say out loud. It has worked out. It was a great moment for him. Not a great moment, but it's turned out to be a moment that was a pivotal point in his life. And I would never want to take that away from him. But don't we all want to see that 2012 defense with number 7 roaming around out there? Whew. Jeez, bro.
I mean, that had to be.
It still hits me.
Yeah,
It's still. I'm telling you, bro. I can still feel. I still feel like driving down River Road, like thinking, like, no way that happened.
About to smoke weed
Like,
right now.
no way that happened. And I remember I knew where he lived, and I drove by his place in Charlotte, up in this townhome area, and there was like cars outside, and I remember thinking, like, dude, this is no way this is happening. No way this is happening. Because I was still like in a point like, this ain't happening.
Yeah, you can't believe it.
Like, this ain't happening. Hang on. Like, there's still a point where you can call him and be like, look, man, you're suspended for 2 games or whatever. You know, like, don't worry about it. Well,
Can't play in the opener.
We screwed up. I know that the public's saying that they threw you off the team, but you're all good. Like, and it still didn't hit you until you saw him at like the Washington game. Yeah. It was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Really not.
All right, we got to get to Underhill. Let me get to Nick Underhill next. Let's talk New Orleans football. We'll talk about the Badger and how he's impacting the. I hate talking about it right now. Like, I want to move on.
You want to play the Les Miles?
No, I do not. Maybe we can play it later. All right, hold tight. We'll be back with Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
Yeah, I'm good.
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. We were talking last segment, or getting out of the first hour, about that dreaded day a decade ago when Les Miles took the podium and delivered the news that Tyrann Mathieu was no longer on LSU's football team, a day that I believe everybody will remember, whether you were covering the program, following the program. But now to look up a decade later and see Tyrann Mathieu in the black and gold, one of the leaders, All-Pro, couple of times All-Pro, Super Bowl champ, is a really cool success story that we've obviously talked a lot about here. Let's go down and talk to the best in the business who covers the New Orleans Saints. You saw him on Pat McAfee's podcast over the last couple of days. You read his stuff over at neworleans.football. His podcast is blowing up. The coverage of the New Orleans Saints really starts and stops with the conversations that Nick Underhill is having, and that's why we welcome you into the conversation here on this Thursday morning. Nick, good morning. How are you, my man?
Hey, doing well. Hey, I was listening to that last segment, man. I didn't know you were a poet. But I want to tell you, I still remember the weather the first time I came on the Culotta Show, and I think about it often. So.
That bright, sunny day.
Yeah. Great video call.
Let's start there, though. Mathieu, what's the impact that he makes on the team? Because that was the depressing part of leaving that press conference, was just the impact that was going to be lost on the locker room and on the field by just taking one player away. And adding him this offseason, what does he bring?
Yeah, look, I would think that was crazy for most players to think one guy has that much impact, but like he really does. Like he's that guy. He's the guy that you see people want to gravitate around, and he just kind of has a presence in general. When he comes in a room, it just seems like people want to be around him. They want to talk to him, and he's incredibly smart. He's insightful. He says things in a way that has an impact, and he leads by example too. He's a guy that comes to work and just goes about his business every single day. We saw it during OTAs and minicamp here, when most of the veterans that people could name were gone, and it was a bunch of players that, you're checking the roster, who's number whatever. Honey Badger's out there playing, leading the way, setting the tone. And granted, he had his incident, but he handled that the right way, and in a way that he was still engaging with his teammates and while he was away, still engaging with his teammates, and they're talking to him and they know he isn't far away and they know what's going on with him. Like, all these things really matter. And he's the kind of guy that you build your culture around. So that thought process at LSU, like the guy he was there, he's still the same guy here, probably even more enhanced now that he has experience. So he is going to be significant for this team. And I think bringing him in after losing the leadership of guys like Teron Armstead and Malcolm Jenkins is a significant move off the field as well as on the field.
How much of the identity for the Saints going into the season is built around this defense just because of what happened in the offseason?
I would say pretty much all of it. You know, they got the defensive head coach. The new era is based on how good they were. And look, I don't know where they're going to end up ranking because they do have a tough schedule. I think they'll be a top 10 defense, but I think it's probably in the conversation that, at least on paper, this is the most talented defense they've had since 2006 or, you know, before then, the start of the Peyton era, now that we're in the Allen era. But it's been a while since they had a group this talented, and there's just guys across the board that are really, really good. I mean, cornerback, they go 4 deep. I mean, their second-round pick is the 4th guy on the depth chart on the outside. In the slot, I mean, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson has his situation playing out, but you look and there's Bradley Roby, there's Alante Taylor, there's Honey Badger, there's Justin Evans. Like, there's a lot of guys that can play that position. Obviously not as well as Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but the point is, like, there's depth across the board. And it's really hard to look at a spot where an injury would really impact them outside of linebacker on that defensive side of the ball. So I think they're going to be the tone setters. I think they're going to try to play those types of games, get leads, protect them. I think it's going to be a little more high-flying than last year, of course, but you know, overall, they're going to rely on that side of the ball to make plays, keep points off the board, and you know, suffocate their opponents. And I think they're built to do that.
Chauncey missed some time with some personal issues going on off the field, and then there was some contract talk going on between him and the front office. What's the latest on him?
Yeah, so he was away. I think looking at his Instagram, it looked like he was at a funeral for a couple of days. Before that, he was doing what they call a hold-in now, where guys show up to camp, but they withhold their practice services, I guess is the way to put it. And, you know, it works. I mean, a lot of guys do that. Deebo Samuel was doing it, and that's just so they don't get fined. But coming back from the funeral, that seemed to end. He's on the field. He's practicing fully. He's participating. You know, they've talked. It doesn't sound like anything's necessarily imminent on the contract front. And, you know, it's interesting because, like, he's doing what he's supposed to do, but I would say that the situation seems pretty hot right now. And, you know, there's posts on Twitter. You know, it's very clear that he's not completely happy with his situation. So that's something to monitor going into the season. But look, I you know, whether he gets paid here or somewhere else, he's going to get paid. Like, the contract's coming. He's a talented player. And I think both sides are probably best set to find a way to get this at least to a place where it's not feeling edgy and, you know, everybody can coexist at least for one more year. I think it's in everybody's best interest for that if they aren't going to sign him to that extension. So it is going to be interesting to watch. He's been running with the 2s and 3s since coming back from this funeral. I think it's just, you know, kind of, hey, you weren't practicing. This is the deal. But, you know, if he's on the team, I think he's going to play. And like I said, I think it's best if they find a way to cool that situation out a little bit and make sure everybody's, you know, not necessarily happy, but coexisting.
Yeah. Marcus Davenport back on the practice field. What's the timeline on him? What's the expectation on him now that he's back?
He's huge for this team. I mean, I think it's probably week 1 he's practicing. You can tell that there's still some stuff he needs to do to get fully into it. You know, running around, getting in shape, all that stuff I think is part of the process. He's doing individual drills right now, nothing in 7-on-7, or I'm sorry, in team drills. So it looks like it's on the right track, and that's extremely important for this team. He's arguably the most talented player on this defense, and you saw the impact of him just on everybody else by being on the field last year. When he was out, Cam Jordan wasn't getting, you know, the sack numbers. David Onyemata wasn't getting the pressures. Davenport comes back. He starts drawing those double teams. Teams start scheming for him. Now Cam Jordan's getting his numbers. David Onyemata's active. So him just being a part of the team, being on the field, even when he's not doing anything, impacts stuff. So that's probably right now the most significant thing I think going on with this team is just his health, making sure he's ready. But behind him, at least this year, Peyton Turner should be there. He looks like he's doing a lot of good things in camp. You see his speed. He looks like a more polished player, even though he didn't play last year. Just being in the NFL, he's clearly picked up a lot of knowledge and knows what he's doing. And I think he's going to have a good season too.
Your tweet the other day kind of calmed down the New Orleans Saints faithful on Jameis Winston, on just kind of the severity of where this injury might be. What are you hearing on the latest of Winston, and what do you expect from him as he's down here?
Yeah, I think it's no big deal. He's day to day. He's probably not going to play this week against Houston. Green Bay practices next week. You know, that's probably up in the air right now too. But I don't think it's anything that's going to impact anything, you know, competitively that matters. Just a little foot sprain, and he should be back good to go before too long. In the interim, they signed KJ Costello, the Mississippi State quarterback from last year, Stanford before that. And
he's claiming them all.
And, yeah. so he's going to be out there probably today, just eating some of those practice reps. These practices are all designed to have 3 quarterbacks. So like when there's not 3 guys, it just kind of it screws up the flow of how they drill. Costello was here, I believe, at rookie camp this summer trying out. So he has some familiarity with the system. He could probably come in, lead a practice, but you know, I don't think it's anything long-term with him. But of course, if you're in the building and now they're looking at you compared to Ian Book, you know, that's a thing that can always happen, but I'm not expecting anything long-term with Costello.
What have you made of Andy Dalton?
He's good, man. He's a good backup quarterback. Saw it yesterday. He lit up practice. He's out there, 6 throws and 7-on-7s in the red zone, 5 touchdowns. Wow. He looks good. He gets the ball out quickly. Good backup quarterback. I know that some other places are talking about a quarterback competition or whatever. Like that's not a thing. Jameis is a starter of this team for sure. But yeah, Dalton's a really good backup. He's just his presence too. Like I think he helps Jameis. He helps Ian Book. Like he's willing to play that role and impart his knowledge on these other guys, which I think is important. And even just for Jameis, like he's really never had that type of player around him. In Tampa Bay, he was always competing. With the Saints, he was always competing. He had Breeze for the couple of years, but other than that, like he hasn't been in a situation where there's another guy in the room that he can really kind of lean on too much. So like this situation with the Saints, I think is going to be really good for him.
You mentioned a little bit of the Saints linebackers, and I think Pete Werner's out with a little bit of a groin issue, so obviously there's some depth concerns there. Roquan Smith is on the block for the Chicago Bears. I don't know how the Saints could make it work. What is their – I mean, that's obviously a pipe dream, but what's their initial plan in kind of building some depth at the linebacker spot?
Yeah, I think they're going to keep trying to bring, guys in, cycle them through, see who hits, and go from there. I think Roquan Smith is probably I haven't heard anything there, so I don't really got anything to say on that one. But, I mean, he would obviously be like an extremely good solution for a guy being out. You're getting a superstar player, so I think that would be great, but it's just not anything that I've heard at this point. But I think it is a big concern. I mean, you got the same groin injury twice. The good thing is that yesterday DA was asked if it was a sports hernia situation. He said that wasn't anything that they've had to discuss yet. So I'm guessing that's a weird way of saying it's not a sports hernia. So that's at least dodging a bullet a little bit. So if that's the case, it's not a dire situation or anything. But yeah, that's I think that's got to be the concern with Warner at this point. It's not talent, but fair or not. I mean, in the short time that we've seen him with this team, there's been 4 injuries now. So that's something that I think is at least something that you got to have in the back of your mind. And it's not a good place to be starting when your starter is, doubling up on groin injuries necessarily.
Did they kick the tires on Quan at all before he signed with the Jets?
Yeah, I think there were conversations there, but I don't think he was going to have the role. I don't think there was a path to a starting job for him. And, for him, I don't think that makes sense. And then if he isn't going to be starting, that's also the kind of guy that I think is tough to have on your bench because, the teammates love him, the fans love him. There's pressure to play him at that point. So, I mean, if Werner's your guy, you got to kind of roll with Werner. But, Quan signed to the league minimum. I think there were a conversation or two, but I just don't think it really made sense for either side.
On Twitter, at NOF Network, that's New Orleans.football, NOF Network. I'm sitting here watching the Camara footwork drills on your Twitter account, bro. I mean, this is mesmerizing. You just sit here and just watch this stuff all day. How good is this guy going to be this year? How much what percentage of the offense do you believe he gobbles up this year?
Well, first of all, I'm going to give a slight credit to Ron DeDon for that video.
Oh, Ronnie DeDon.
It's making our guy. Ron DeDon's out there, so my guys got to step up. They feel the pressure. Iron sharpens iron. That's how we do. So
yeah.
Shout out to Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Alvin looks great. He looks really fast. He looks fit. He's in shape. They aren't using him a lot at camp, but every time he touches the ball, like it's one of those situations where it's like, oh, that's how it's supposed to look. Like
Right.
he kind of reminds you that he's a superstar and he's different. So I think he looks great. I think he's primed to have a good season. The thing with Alvin that I think people got to keep in mind though is that like his numbers are probably going to go down just because the offense is changing. So
Yeah.
81 catches a season, that's probably done. Like you used to be able to write that in every year, literally, and he would end with 81 catches. I don't think he's going to get that in this offense because it's more downfield, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be a lesser player. So, like, if you're stat scouting, you're doing it wrong. Like, I think you actually got to watch the games and pay attention. And I think he's going to look the same, but the numbers just probably aren't going to be quite the same.
Oh, I'd sacrifice touches for health on Kamara for sure to have him effective in weeks 14, 15, 16 down the stretch going into it would make a lot more sense. And it does because there's a lot more weapons around him on offense, whether it's Olave, whether it's Juice, Taysom Hill at tight end. One thing that Juice said the other day, Jarvis Landry said the other day that jumped out, Nick, was that this is by far the most difficult offense that he has ever tried to get and play in. What is the expectation of these pass catchers? Because it's, like you said, it's not just Kamara out there anymore, and guys like Marquez Callaway that are asked to be the number one wideout. There are options all over this side of the ball.
Hey, I apologize for talking too damn long, probably on every question. But I got to dip after this one to
No
make
problem.
it to practice.
Yep.
Look, I think this offense is going to be really good. I mean, the explosiveness at all those positions is crazy. A wide receiver, and it's kind of a reminder every day. You look out there, and Marquez Callaway is like at the bottom of the list in targets among those guys at practice, and it's just kind of crazy that like number one is that far behind now. But like that's the talent upgrade at that position, and I don't think. I've never seen anything like it. Like to go from what they had last year to like three arguable number one type receivers. Mike Thomas, man, I've been like fighting how I talk about him everywhere because like I don't want to create too much hype, but like he looks the same. Like he's not a different player. Like he's come back, he's getting open, he's dominating these practices. He's always open. The way he cuts looks the same. The way he cuts is creating separation. Everything about that ankle looks healthy. Jarvis he's unbelievable. We got a story up on the site right now, just kind of like about what he's thinking about the line of scrimmage when he's setting up guys, running routes and all that stuff. Like he's an artist out there for real. Like just the way he does things, watching him work is crazy. And he's just so consistent and he just makes it so easy to throw him the ball. And then Chris Olave, man, I'm sure you guys saw the video like where he was going against Paulson Adebo in the one-on-one and he takes that false step up the sideline and like that's what we're seeing consistently out of his route running. He's leading the team in targets and catches in team drills, which just tells you A, he has great chemistry, B, he's running routes the right way, and he's just doing all the right things. The quarterbacks love him. He looks extremely polished. There was one practice where on day 13 where I kind of left thinking like, man, like that could have been a little bit better. The other 12, like he's killing it. So I think he's going to have a really good season too. So these three guys are just doing really incredible things. And I think it sets up a situation where it would be extremely hard for Jameis Winston not to have a good season with these guys out there catching his passes.
Keep up the great work, bro. Thank you for looking out for Ronnie out there, and we're always reading the work at NewOrleans.football. See you soon.
Appreciate you guys.
There he is, Nick Underhill checking in from NewOrleans.football. Simply the best of the business. If you're looking for New Orleans Saints information, go to subscribe to the site as NewOrleans.football always has it first. And they got great stuff over there. YouTube site. And podcast that they have going over there. Carpool Queen is here. We will reset the set and be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. I was embarrassed about my smile.
Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
We've seen the BK takeover stuff from LSU and social media, and really in his short time in Baton Rouge, there's been a lot of people embracing his approach to building this roster. What's it like to recruit alongside him?
Oh, it's been great. Coach has been awesome to me because he lets me be myself when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to coaching. He lets his coaches coach, he lets his coaches recruit. So I have no complaints on that end. And when I need him to get in touch with a kid, he's there for me. The communication line has been great. He's just been nothing but supportive.
But this opportunity was different. You have a chance to come to a place with unbelievable tradition, work for the winningest head coach in college football. Just be at a state. I've never been at a state where football's king, and if you just dominate your state, you're going to get some of the best players that there are.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think, getting through spring, I mean, most of it was obviously just installing the offense. And I think all 4 guys really made some strides in terms of that and showed a lot of positives. Obviously, which, you guys get to talk about all the time, so you guys,
Sure.
But all 4 have done a great job. They did. I think they did a really nice job in spring of taking strides forward individually, and everybody's different in terms of what they need to get better at and what they need to show. And then move it into summer, and I love the way they're working right now in the weight room for Coach Flint. But like I said, I think spring a lot was everything was new for everybody. So especially at the beginning, there wasn't as much evaluation, say the first few days, get into the flow, and then I think we got some good opportunities for some guys to get some reps, and I think everybody showed some positives.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. Contemplating in the break here as Lloyd's picked up smoking, which is depressing at 30.
And he's trying to peer pressure me into doing it.
It's not my fault. I'm trying to keep up with the young
typical,
kids.
That's a typical dependent. Wow.
You're
Wow,
doing
look at
it
that.
right
That's a
here,
pot
camera?
smoker right there if you've ever seen one. That's an experience. Let that exhale, then go the inhale through the nose.
French inhale.
Blow a couple of circles on the way out.
I can get you laid.
Yeah, right.
If you can stay awake. It's true.
Last one up. Can you blow circles through your smoke?
You want to see a trick?
Like, how do you feel? How does it
I
make
feel
you
awesome.
Yeah, right. I mean, probably no different than he has the last 12 years.
Right,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I've done
if we're
everything.
just beating him up over nicotine.
You're
I mean,
right. I wear
where have we been
patch,
on the
too.
other?
Oh my God.
Where have we been on the other stuff? Like,
I don't know.
This is where we draw the line.
fucking
wish
Aaron
y'all-
Rodgers over
I
there.
wish y'all could have heard the break though. Lloyd's pushing it in my face, and I'm saying no, and Jordy's saying don't do it. Lloyd's like, do it.
Well, I
do
just
it."
can't believe that you
Everyone's
picked up
doing
smoking at 30, bro. I mean,
No.
that would feel like that you had beat the race by
I
that
thought
point.
so, but why not? It's never too late to join.
Yeah. Okay.
Lance
Well, I mean,
Armstrong
I love
could
your
get back on the bike.
mentality.
I don't
Thank
want
you.
to.
We were also
quit
contemplating
anytime.
whether
No, you can't.
Speaking of addictions,
Cody Boudreaux says Lloyd smoking is very, very trashy.
Trashy,
Here's
yes.
$5 for another pack.
let's go.
Yes.
It's not a pack, Cody.
Welcome
it's
aboard.
It's
And I would imagine that $5 wouldn't give you a half a pack of cigarettes
I
these
wouldn't
days.
think
Can you
so.
even
What
buy
are they running
GPCs
these
for
days?
$5?
what is it? Oh, Paul
I mean,
Malls, American
uh,
Spirits.
Paul Malls.
Paul Malls.
What did that
Almost,
cost?
wow.
What's the thing cost?
I don't know. What does it cost? Like $20? Yeah.
And then what does each refill cost?
You just toss this one out. It's like
Yeah.
a
No, you
disposable
throw the whole
camera.
thing out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like a weed pen.
Yeah, save for the turtles.
Certain amount
But
of
you don't throw
puffs.
the whole weed pen out. You put a new cartridge in.
Ah.
So
You
that-
throw the cartridge
that'll-
out. Yeah.
Yeah, but not the whole. You throw that
Yeah.
whole thing away.
I guess it's my first
Wait,
one.
wait. You have to buy the whole device
Every
every
time.
time?
China.
What a
That's so
racket.
wasteful. Are
Oh,
you,
yeah,
I
it's
have
a
a
racket.
recycling
What a
bag.
You can charge
racket.
it if you want.
Let me see that thing.
Take a hit.
No, I'm not taking a
No,
hit.
don't do it.
I'm
Just
not
Smoke
smoking.
cigarettes again.
No way, bro. No way.
I don't even know.
But
I might
why
take-
do you
I might take
need
one.
it?
Take
Why do I need it?
Pass it around the room.
Jordy, no.
Dude, that's terrible.
Jordy.
It's terrible.
I already have one.
Oh, you just got to see. That's who got me on it.
Oh, wow. Stewie, you're a smoker too.
Jamil's got one.
Jamil.
I feel so sad and
Damn,
scared. I'm
bro.
like,
I didn't know I was
"Oh,
surrounded by so many smokers.
I mean, I actually prefer weed,
Yeah.
but
Well, sure.
What I think this has got me on is
One of the first entourages
oh, I hate this one
when,
with a new car.
when E is hitting on, is it Emily?
Yeah, she's smoking
Ari's
cigarettes
sister. And she
outside.
goes, "Do you smoke?" And he goes, "Cigarettes?"
And then he starts smoking again.
Right, he's
shit.
like, "Yeah,
Guess
why
that
not?
helps.
Smoke now?
Yeah. You got a light?
Anytime it's been, well, yeah, we got to get Avatar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to get James Cameron.
Oh my god.
But this is why I started. They started doing it. I was like, I got to keep up with the cool kids.
Wow.
They're making
Maybe,
their
maybe Tom
Golly.
Brady will
Aging in
start sending
reverse.
y'all tools
Yeah.
from
she's trying to
Walmart.
get Benjamin Button. That's
Yes.
what it is.
It's
I
Benjamin
feel
Button
60.
disease.
I feel terrible right now. I feel like I've
What do you
aged
feel
20
like?
years
Is
in the
your
last.
headlight- are
Do
you
I have
lightheaded?
wrinkles under my eyes already?
No, your teeth are falling out.
Good Lord, I might have to go
Again.
see Dr. Spillers again. Ugh!
Dr. Spillers is watching this. He's gonna be so mad
Smoker's cough,
at you
bro.
for doing that.
Golly, Lloyd.
This is
After all those devices.
I know.
God.
But this has made me realize that I probably will
So
love
wait, is it confirmed that
spliffs.
you have to buy the whole device
whole
every
device.
time?
It's
What a
confirmed.
racket!
I mean, it lasts pretty long. It lasts better.
Yeah, it's my
I
first one.
thought we were gonna bring back like
Feet
real
pics?
cigarettes for a minute, like Mad Menish.
Oh,
that was our
so
plan.
we bring
We're
it back.
getting there. I'm
No,
easing
we can
my
burn
first
some
one.
heaters. I'm
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they
Smoke.
banned the electronic cigarette.
a real cigarette. We were
Mic
gonna
her up.
smoke
If she's
throughout
gonna
a
talk,
show.
mic her up. Mic her up. Mic her up.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
at
fine.
lunch yesterday and somebody told me, was that Jamil this morning? I was like, huh?
The feet.
Huh? What do you mean? She was like, the
Selling
guy was
feet
like,
pics.
she's got some sexy feet, bro. I was like, whoa, you're a weirdo.
Yeah,
That's the first thing.
Right? Like,
Bro,
you
he's
just let it out,
breakfast,
dude.
yeah.
We're at the lunch table here.
A lot of people like feet, Jordy. You don't
Well,
call
I
people
mean,
weirdos.
no, I mean, one of
lot of people in our
the
chat.
look. Hey,
Come
I
on.
could be one. I just don't let it out in public,
Are you?
a feet
right?
guy?
yeah, he's not saying
Hey,
it.
Jordy's an everything guy.
He's not.
Let me see him
saying
again,
it.
Jamil.
If you're gonna talk shit,
Yeah,
it's feet.
right.
I'll come show
Let
you.
me
Like,
see.
offer people random foot.
But the foot finder
Feet finder.
that Katie
Feet
put in
finder
the
that I
group
sent a video
yesterday,
that only
you
one
know,
person
I could
watched,
be in.
clearly.
I watched it.
No, I
Are you
watched
good?
it too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool, y'all. Thanks. I feel
Now we
proud.
know how you got that Audi for your daughter.
Right. All footwork.
Somebody
Footwork.
said
Happy
you
birthday,
see
Anna
them.
Kate.
That's right. Twinkle those toes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want some leather.
Dude, I'm on it right now, and this is borderline pornographic.
Wow.
Like you got to really
They
sell.
give you, like,
Oh,
a
look
little
at their logo
preview.
is porn.
Yeah, it's two little feet.
Yeah, it's porny.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm considering
It's
it
very
if you can buy a Mercedes.
Katie, I think that we should be out of the consideration mode and into development.
Just upload.
I
my
I mean, like,
Yeah.
let's get the FM Feet Finder account moving. Jamil, lead them off.
Yeah.
Do you want to be the carpool queen as your username?
Yes.
Ooh,
Ooh,
ooh, they're gonna love that.
they are gonna love
I'm
that.
sending you
Like,
one.
Yeah,
ooh,
I love that.
carpool queen. I love
All
your
of the
jokes.
people
Carpool.
inside the chat, they're getting a Feet Finder account right
I'll
now.
drive to carpool barefoot
Yeah,
and
right.
take
Oh
pictures
my
of my
God.
feet.
A lot of
like, on
double
the
screens
pedals.
going up right now. It's like that morning Matthew got thrown off the team. A lot of
Is it up? Is it
Yeah,
up?
right.
Foot
Yeah,
finder,
right.
feet finder.
I think they said FM. FM. How do you spell FM? Is that 2 F's, 2 M's? How is it? How do they do it?
I mean, I don't mind as long as like the rest of me isn't in it. It's just my feet. I have decent
Yeah, it's just your feet.
I take care
Yeah,
of
I
my
mean,
feet,
take some
so-
chances. The girl bought her mom a Mercedes off of
Yeah.
the girl's toes.
I got more cars to buy for these kids, so
Yeah.
I might as well
Your
start.
carpool queen
The chat's
69.
going crazy.
They want the feet.
Yeah.
Not head to
Carpool
toe.
toes. Gross.
Carpool queen 69.
That's
Show the
my
feet, show the
username.
We don't have a referral code unless somebody in the chat does. If you're already on the site, go ahead and send it my way.
Surely somebody
Cheesy.
in our chat.
Carpool Queen 69. That's what we're
Yeah,
going with.
promo code.
I don't enjoy feet.
Well, you don't have to enjoy it.
Yeah, right.
It's for
Nobody's
every-
asking you. They
Yeah,
just want to see
I know.
yours.
But
other
I'm-
people's
I'm not
enjoyment.
interested in looking at pictures of other people's feet.
Sweet.
That's fine. Good.
Go get a membership.
Yeah, this is a business.
I have
Yeah,
to
turn on a
membership if I'm
business
gonna
here.
upload
Yeah, right.
feet.
You could do it on your B-reel.
Maybe I should just start wearing or going barefoot during the show, and y'all can
Yeah.
super chat.
Yeah,
me.
don't give it away for free.
Absolutely.
No, that's super
Oh, no.
chat.
Put it behind the paywall.
No free promo here.
That's weird.
All right, you're signed up.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Wow. Just like that.
Just like
Just
that.
like that.
That's how it happens.
A new career.
Next thing you know,
Who would have thought?
you the girl with the feet?
Next thing you know, I'm buying Lloyd a Range Rover.
That would be awesome.
Oh, I mean,
I am looking forward to getting over to Feet Finders, also to LSU this morning for the first scrimmage, as I just got the email back from Bonnet approving my credential this morning. So I'm going to be over at LSU. What's that?
Are you going barefoot?
No, not me.
Can I get a credential?
I'll turn
I
everybody.
don't
I'll turn everybody away. Yeah, open thong-toed flip-flops only.
Ew.
Yeah, I agree.
You and Jesus.
Not
I
wearing
agree.
thong flip flops. No.
Oof.
If y'all see me walking around in flip flops, y'all know that I've like something's up.
Kick my
If I'm in thong flip-flops, I've been kidnapped.
I would
I mean, if
die
you see
if I
me
saw
in
you in
kidnapped in
flip-flops.
thong flip-flops, somebody need to be like, "Bro, are you okay?
Yeah, I would
give me
call.
give me a sign."
like blink if you're
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Like 2 eyebrows up. You know,
Yeah.
like get me out of here.
This is my safe word.
Absolutely.
Like I'm
yeah,
in trouble.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Blinking
Yeah.
twice. Blinking twice. SOS. Send for help.
Yeah.
It's
same.
the worst to look the thong flip flops with jeans
Yes.
Yes.
I would go shorts tucked
With the
in with a
thong.
collared shirt
on. Oh,
with a
cargo
frat
shorts.
belt.
Yes.
And a
the,
thong
But
flip
at
flop
least you
is
have
such an
shorts on.
aggressive
It's not a
jest.
flip-flop. That
I've
looks
given
summery. Jeans with a flip flop. It's like
That's a
what happened
lifestyle.
At the bottom.
Yeah.
Where did you think about this?
Right.
Like coming
You
out
did
the
it
house.
almost all the way right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
We were
just
like,
didn't have the
damn, I
energy
think
to
I'm gonna
put
just
on a
throw those
sock.
flip flops on
Yeah.
right now.
We need to talk to Deli about this. Isn't he a big flip flop guy?
Jeans and flip-flops.
Deli's a huge flip flop guy. Wears flip flops everywhere.
Lots of people do.
Jordan
people
has a
do.
youth league coach that wears flip flops like
Religiously?
on the field coaching.
Oh no.
Coach, mid-October,
Coaching?
mid-November, December,
Toes out.
toes out,
10 toes tall.
like cold outside. People are bundled up.
Louisiana people wear flip flops way,
Thong flops.
way into like winter.
Not thong
though.
flops, Katie. I mean, no.
I mean, I'll go some slides.
Yeah, I rock
Yeah.
the
I wear
slides.
slides. Yeah, I'm talking
but
about flip flops.
Flip flops is just I'm out.
But people here wear them like year round. I feel like I know when I moved here, that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, people don't care; their feet are out year round here. And my husband was like, "Well, I mean, it's hot."
It's
I'm like,
hot,
"But
yeah.
it's Christmas. Like, why are we in flip flops?"
Well, I mean, I've done 90 degrees Christmas
that's
down
true,
here.
but I still won't.
Yeah.
I'll wear a damn boot.
Flip flops are big in Franklin. Like the camo flip flops.
Oh, I bet.
Coach.
Croc?
Camo Crocs, I bet.
Camo Crocs
Yeah.
flip flops.
and the
though.
ladies
Just-
wear
Absolutely.
like the stacked ones. Like you got a little heel, you got a little
Franklin
lift
is
on that
just
flop.
Date night.
Oh, coach.
Nice to meet me.
Date night flops.
All camo outfit. Can't even see you right now.
Croc high heels.
I know we are offending people
At the
right
jewelry
now.
store, they had
Have
camo
to be.
rings that you could buy for men, like the men's bands. They had camouflage versions of it, and when I tell you, they
That's
got
not
some.
surprising.
Like we would pitch them as a joke, and they're like, "Actually, let me see that." Movie. I was like, "Oh my god, dude, I'm making fun of you right to your face."
Let me see that camo one right there.
Actually,
And it was just like, there's no way. I mean, if you sell, we would. Whoever sold one got an extra $100. That's how we did it.
Wow.
Because it was just
like,
like,
how much do they cost though?
oh, probably
average?
like $65. It was
That's
a
it?
men's ring. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Is
It
it
was
It's
just
just like a
like
piece
the
of rubber,
rubber
isn't it?
No, it was a real like
The
I
steel
guess
one?
steel one, but it was so I'd say 65, probably like 110
Yeah.
if I'm thinking about
Lloyd
it.
was
now.
just keeping the other 60 off the
Yeah.
top. Here's your cut. Here's mine.
Yeah.
Fine,
During
110.
Christmas, you can sling some deals now for you today.
I just gave it away for $65.
Yeah,
He had 100 in his wallet. I told him I'd keep it. Yeah, no taxes. Did you sell that? Nope.
Tax-free weekend.
Yeah.
Front pocket.
Yeah, thank you.
Lunch.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
Are you
you.
gonna get a camo ring, Jordy, for your wedding ring?
No, I don't know if I'm going to do camo.
are you going to go rubber?
No, I'm not going to go rubber.
Yeah, okay, good. I mean, I know people that do. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
It's fine.
I feel like that's a chance to kind of,
Take
you
that
know,
thing
steal
off.
some swag back.
Yeah.
Well,
That's how we
It
pitched
is,
it. Like,
it
hit 'em
is-
back.
I do kind of stress like losing it. It's like sliding off. So like I have thought about
No, you're not gonna lose it.
the
You
rubber.
gonna put diamonds in it?
No.
There's some killer ones today. You go yellow, gold, 3 diamonds on
So
top.
if you were to sell me, if I walk up to the counter,
You're Italian, so it'd be tough. I can
Yeah.
smell it already.
Right.
I know what I'm in for. You gotta
That's
roll up
okay.
your sleeves a little
So you
bit.
would take me. You would take me
Right.
to the diamond section. You would start me there.
Yes.
Little
yellow-
mobster.
Yeah,
right?
yellow
Yeah,
gold.
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
get you a chain in there too.
Yeah, Italian men diamond band, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Seems very.
Hey Lloyd, how are you?
Absolutely.
Jordy, nice to meet you.
Offer you a drink, you'd say no. I was like, well, what else do you like?
Yeah.
And then you'd roll one up, go to the back. Yeah.
Hey, that's right, that's right.
We
What
could
am I
go,
gonna
we
do
could go
here?
around back.
Wow,
Yeah.
you smoke cigarettes too, huh?
Yeah,
Damn.
great. Look at
Golly,
this
I
thing
hate to hear that.
Yeah, look at this thing I just bought.
You offer him a drink in the jewelry store?
Oh yeah, we get hammered.
For sure.
Like what kind of drink do you offer him?
We have like a stable of stuff back there, but usually like whiskey. Old
Really?
Charter's a big deal in Alexandria.
That's nice.
Well, yeah, you want to make it an experience. You want
Yeah.
them to, and then if you get them liquored up, they're more likely to say yes.
Sure,
Yes.
That
absolutely.
tale is old as time.
Can I get you another drink,
Oh, if you get them too deep,
Coach? We're in.
we've had people throw up in the
Let me
parking
take you to
lot.
this
Yeah.
section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you are looking here. You know what? If
Yeah.
you do this,
Yeah, with that second drink, let me tell you what
Yeah.
part of the club that gets
Show
you
you what
into.
just-
move it over here
Yeah,
and start
right.
chasing it.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
oh, what am I looking at now?
This is 6,000 more, but
But-
worth every penny.
And we'll take the tax off. You don't have to worry about that. Then you go to the back and you pretend to look it up. You kind of talk, you can do it for this. And it's like, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
You walk out of here today, be a happy guy.
Lucky for you, my manager, I called him before he left. He's actually going to swipe another 10% off. So here's the number.
Yeah, we had to look on. You look at the computer, they're like not looking at anything.
If you take it
Make that work.
today,
Yeah, absolutely.
if you buy it today,
Yeah, that's it for you today.
Yes.
I can do this for you today.
Oh, today only.
Can I come back tomorrow?
No.
You could,
But
but it would
not
go back to
100%.
regular
Yeah,
price.
but
Yeah,
I
it's
might
gonna
not
be
be here.
different.
It's my day
Yeah,
off that day.
that's
I can't
right.
promise I'll do the same thing.
And I'm taking the scotch with me, so
Yeah,
can't promise you a drink tomorrow either.
Court goes back in. Like, oh, never mind. Get the hell out of here.
Would you give him a to-go cup if they asked?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Do whatever
It's
you want.
Louisiana.
Hey.
Yeah,
God,
who cares?
The best
Go
thing
outside
about
and
this
drink.
state.
Some people would come and play their guitar. It was just a
Play
wild.
their
Wow.
guitar.
Yeah, if they wanted to play music, the Clay Patton, shout out KP Drillers, why not? He knows how to play guitar. He would lube you up, dude. Like, you would be in there. We had people staying there for hours.
Really?
But it's worth it on the sale. If you can get them to buy an engagement ring.
Yeah.
bro,
So wait.
It's a
You
whole
would,
day.
The store owner would hire entertainment to come in.
No, we would do that, but his son, Clay, runs it, and he, like, plays guitar, and he'll have, like, a microphone there if you want to sing. He has a karaoke thing. Like,
Wow.
it's a whole production,
It's
dude.
a whole
I gotta go to
experience.
this store.
Coach, who's
It's a
watching the
blast.
door?
Nobody.
Who's watching the merchandise?
Yeah, right.
Go in there and run a
I think that was
roof.
my job. I just clean the glass.
Can I just make my own drink?
Yeah, I did that too.
I bet you
What
did.
time can we start?
Did you do karaoke?
Hell
Did you
no.
sing?
No,
Okay.
no. But you do it for let the people do it.
Do y'all do karaoke?
I was about to
Does
say,
anybody in here
what
do
would be
karaoke?
your
Uh,
karaoke? song?
karaoke night for me was the most embarrassing professional night of my life.
That's a
What
tough
do you mean?
gig.
Like you did it one time?
We did it for a fundraiser. Panamsky and I did it for a fundraiser for an event that was over there at that restaurant that's next to Barnes and Noble's on Corporate. The Pelican, I believe it was called. Was it the Pelican?
Oh, next to yeah.
That's
It
the-
was called Pelican Club. or
Not Barnes and
something.
Noble's. Is it Books a Million?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh wait, which one? There's a Barnes and Noble over there by the movie theater.
By the
City
movie
Place?
theater.
That was
Barnes-
Pelican Club or
the Pelican
something.
Club.
Yeah.
And Panamsky and I went over there for a fundraising event that was. They still do the event. It's still it's the lip syncing event that they still do, and they've moved the event to the Varsity now. It's exploded. It's like
Yeah, that
gotten big.
restaurant's not there
This was like very early stages of this foundation, and they found something, and they've run with it, and they've blown this thing up.
So
and like
lip-syncing, not
they filled
karaoke?
the Varsity up. No, I guess it was lip syncing.
Okay.
Yes, it was lip syncing.
So you didn't have to actually use.
No,
your
I didn't
voice
have to actually sing.
Okay.
But this was worst.
Really?
I mean, this was.
You
If
would
you don't know
rather
the words
sing
to
with
a
your
lip
voice?
sync,
Wait, you didn't pick your own song?
Well, I did not.
That's the first rule of karaoke.
Yeah, I did not.
Go
I
there,
did.
know
I
the
did not. But
words.
Panamsky picked it out,
Oh, it's
and
been-
yeah, right.
Called it good.
Song.
It was.
Snake in the grass since day one.
It was. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I
Yes.
was a girl that did. I would
You
call.
know it now.
I did, but you don't. I don't know the verses.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
They didn't have
jingle.
it for you to see? Like
No.
karaoke does? Okay,
No,
so
no,
you just
no,
were
no,
straight
no,
out
no.
there.
Oh,
That's a lot of words in that
Absolutely,
song.
absolutely. And Bill Martin's wife, Bill Martin is now the sports information director at the University of Tennessee.
Hired and fired me the same
Congratulations to he and his wife, now his wife, just delivered their first baby at SEC Media Days. That was actually the day of Coach Heupel,
They did
or the
it
day
at
before,
SEC Media Days?
the day before
In the
Coach
town.
Heupel,
Waterbird.
and Bill was in Atlanta the next day.
They did it live.
That would be amazing,
I
right?
volunteer.
But she worked for the foundation, and I'll never forget like being in the center of this like stage, and like the restaurant's full, like looking at us, and let's like lit up, Coach. I'm dead.
Oh my God.
Dead. Like
I'm in there.
pale white, like just anxiety out of the roof.
Stomach's in my ass.
Don't know any of the words of the song. Only know just that the part that I was singing. And I remember like looking at her and her being like,
Oh, you could feel the root. The
Just
opposite
like-
of Ricky Collins. Yeah.
turn it off.
It's
Make it
over.
stop. Make it stop.
I don't even know how long the song
And
Cut
it
his
was
mic.
the longest 2 minutes.
Oh.
I mean, it was just
So you did the whole
brutal.
song?
Feeling
And
bad
I'm just
for
totally wigged out by now, microphone in hand, having to sing anything.
you. Okay.
You know what I
no
mean? So
night
karaoke, lip
Oh, I do it.
syncing. I mean, you might as well just get me wasted and put me on the stage at the wedding and let me sing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just fuck it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but
if
like,
I'm gonna do it, I might as well
lip
do
syncing
it.
or
Yes.
karaoke, just too much anxiety. It
going
takes me
to-
back to that place. I see her looking at us like, stop.
So,
Shut it
were
down.
Were you hammered?
No,
Oh.
no, Coach,
You
I was in
definitely
work
remember
gear.
this. Oh.
It was like a Wednesday night.
Can't
I thought
do
we were
that
like just
sober.
walking in, gonna be able to read a teleprompter and walk. And like when I walked in and saw other people like were in costume, like there were people skating and rolling, like
Skating.
there were people like dressing up for the lip sync.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
to like and like
You
I
were
walked
not
in with
prepared.
a long sleeve collar, coach's pants, tennis shoes,
He was cooked.
Hey,
He was cooked from the jump.
3-day beard,
Yeah.
stoned.
I thought I was
sure.
Dude, thought you were gonna slink in and
Absolutely. Just keep my head down, get out, sing
Culotta.
this song. Yeah, right. There he is right there.
Come on up.
Come up to the front.
Well, at
I'm
least
like,
you were high. I mean, that helps.
No,
right?
that would be
You're
worse.
Not high
strong.
enough.
Katie,
Yeah, that
no
would be way
chance.
worse.
No, I need a little liquid courage.
Yeah,
man.
there's two different kinds of like. I don't want you
I
don't
don't
want
wanna
that when
do-
you're baked.
I don't
You
wanna
want
do
to be
that
trying
high.
to. You're
I guess
chilling.
that's
For sure.
true.
Little conversation. Not
it was bad.
Star of the
Sorry,
evening.
It was
Jordy.
bad. No, it was all right.
Bad
It was all right.
about
No,
it.
no,
Why
it's
do you
okay.
sing
I
like?
don't even want to talk to people.
What about like Pina Colada? You should have done that one.
I don't even know. I don't even know like what I would at this point. I've gotten so far away from it, removed from it. I won't even let my mind go and play the game of like what would I
Man,
sing.
That's bad.
Yeah, I mean
This
I'm
is
jaded, bro.
PTSD.
I'm a scorned lover of
Do you
anything.
hate that song now?
If we
Absolutely.
really want to get you vulnerable, then we take you to a karaoke night.
Yeah,
Don't
take me to
tell you
Cat's
that.
Meow. Throw me
Okay.
on stage at Cat's Meow and just watch me die.
I actually was
Watch
thinking
me
it
melt.
would be fun to have like a group, like we do that. We go to New Orleans and we go out.
trying
and
to
do
think
that,
about
but
what
you
I
don't
would
think you
sing.
Run,
Yeah.
I guess.
I've done karaoke once, and it was at walk-ons. Whenever on
Oh,
Sunday, whenever
God.
it gets kind of
Walk-ons.
bumping, we were.
What'd you
hammered.
do?
Had to be.
What
But-
song did you do?
The Real Slim Shady, and I crushed it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
What a
so
move.
like they had the like the screen, but I didn't need it. I knew all the words or whatever. And then after
What a
I
great
did
feeling.
it was like I could the opposite of your feeling when you looked around and like saw people like good. I was like I could see that they're into this.
Well, did you watch Hard Knocks?
Yes.
Did you see when Aiden Hutchinson picked it up?
It was
When the room started getting
Yes.
into
Into
it,
it.
bro, he
Yes,
started
he started
dancing.
that.
Yes.
Dude, I
Y'all see
mean,
the
he
dude
was
take his
in it.
shirt off?
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude takes his shirt off and like throws it to the
Yes.
front row, and
That
the
was so
guy in
was
the front
incredible.
row like catches it.
Yeah, did you see Man Campbell? Like, I mean, he's like chest patting him. He's like, dude,
So
O and D.
No, we're out of here.
Yeah, right.
cute.
But I did the Real Slim Shady, and then after that, like everybody started to get up. Some guy grabbed the microphone from me and started freestyling, and I was like, "This place has
Really?
turned into a riot." It was
Wow.
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get the party started.
Have you
Yeah.
done live
From
karaoke?
college.
I have not done live
Ever?
karaoke.
You've never done karaoke? I mean, like, Stewie, you're in karaoke prime.
I know.
You are?
Yeah.
Relax. Look,
One and done for me.
when you
That's
go
all.
to when
Yeah.
you go to Mellow
Drop the
Mushroom
mic.
Baked, you're not doing karaoke. Like I would be
R.I.P. Mellow Mushroom.
R.I.p. Mellow
They
Mushroom.
had
but,
karaoke night
yeah.
there? Okay.
Oh,
It was every
Wednesdays.
Wednesday, and shroom teas were involved, but I was also high, so
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Got it.
I'm not going on a stage in front of these people that
You
I
got to
don't
do
know.
it.
Jamil,
Have you
karaoke?
done
We
karaoke?
got a karaoke machine at home. Like, so I did
Oh,
it.
wow.
No,
Jamil
public.
comes
Have you
from
done it
a
in public?
singing
Yeah, plenty
family.
of
Give her a
times. Oh, plenty
microphone.
of
Is she
times.
mic'd up?
Yeah, she's
COVID.
What's your go-to karaoke song? Do you have one?
Mo City 9.
Okay.
0?
0.
Yeah, I'd probably go like Lil Wayne. I'd probably go a
Uh-huh.
Wayne or a Drake song.
Jay-Z.
Reb Sneaky loves 0. Crazy. You wouldn't think so.
Do you karaoke?
I have karaoke'd. I don't regularly, but my go-to karaoke song is Lottie Dottie. And the main time I remember doing it is...
Great video.
Main time I remember doing it.
I mean, I've done it a couple of times, but the main time I remember doing it was I was home in Hattiesburg visiting friends.
Alone?
What? No. I was at the Sigma Chi house at Southern Miss, and
Wow.
I got on stage there.
Wow.
And did it and blew
Wow.
the place up.
Wow.
I freaking crushed
Wow.
Great feeling.
it. Great.
Get in line,
Because I
boys.
know every word. I don't need
Frat girl.
I
They were
knew
all up
every
there.
word, so I was just like out of breath.
Pants at their
going
ankles.
It. I mean, I was there. I got people like doing the backup for me. It was
In
great.
the whole
Show your feet. Show your feet. Show your feet.
Let's go. She took him off. Let's go, boys.
Yeah!
Rounds on me, boys.
I had shoes.
Ricky Collins, now this. How can it get any better?
So we should do a karaoke night.
I'm with it.
I'm
Do
in.
it. You are?
I would MC it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm one and done. I'll
Maybe
watch.
we could do it at
Couple
my,
of drinks,
maybe
you
we could
never
do
know
it
what
at
could
my
happen.
house. I hosted a karaoke party at my house
Yeah,
for
somebody-
a friend's birthday, a 90s karaoke party this past year.
How'd it go?
It was great.
90s.
People, I mean,
Great by whose terms? Host
Everybody.
terms? Everybody's?
Kevin LeBlanc killed it.
Kevin
as
LeBlanc.
Axl Rose. Yeah, he was
Wow.
great. Guns N' Roses, Matt Mulkey. I mean, everybody got up there. It was awesome. I'm sure my neighbors loved it because we did it outside.
Oh, yeah,
And
they
then we
probably-
moved it in at like midnight, and then just cleared. I remember just clearing off the coffee table and getting up there. And David was just standing over there, which for me, like just
Jesus.
like God.
I'm sick
I was
of
pouring
this.
champagne. It was all
man.
over, just spilling everywhere.
I'm
I was
sick
doing
of
How
it
did I get
hours.
myself into this?
Worth it.
Can you get down, please?
Tonight's gonna be awesome when they leave.
Hurry up. Y'all get out.
I have to put down any work.
Everybody get out.
So we can do that again. We'll have a party at my karaoke party at my house.
Don't use the downstairs bathroom.
Oh.
Because
yeah.
remember that man
I
blew
do
it up.
remember that man.
And Velocity left his jacket. He had to come back and
Wait,
get it.
he blew your bathroom up and
At a
left his
Christmas party.
jacket in the bathroom.
What a
left the scene of the
bold
crime.
play.
You know the bathroom by my kitchen. Like
Sure
the
they
bathroom in
do.
the middle of the
Sure they
house.
do, Katie.
Yeah, lots of glass.
Everybody knows about
Everybody
your
knows.
house.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody knows. In that bathroom, in the middle of a Christmas party, explosive diarrhea,
Oh.
broke the
Oh.
toilet, and
It's-
then left his sport coat at our house and had to come back Uber back the next day from his hotel because he was from out of town and get the coat.
The scene of the crime.
How much does that coat have to be worth for you to go
It
back?
had to be a
Seriously?
lot.
What's the price?
I mean, there's
I
something
don't
that had to be in a pocket.
It had to
Yeah.
be custom
Engagement
or
ring.
something.
Did it have his name in it?
I don't know. I didn't look.
Talk about going back to the scene of the
I
crime.
couldn't believe
Coach.
it.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta like really need that jacket.
really
because
need
I would be
the
like, I'm
jacket.
never.
He was
I won't
probably-
go back to Baton Rouge.
But he was probably real in that.
Maybe buy another one.
He was
I mean,
like,
Probably his
damn.
Fuck that
wife,
jacket.
he was gonna get. I think he was from Alabama. He's probably gonna get home and not
Yeah.
have the coat. She's gonna be like, "Where the hell did you leave your?
Where
coat?
did you leave that
What
coat
bitch
at?
wore that coat when she
Yeah,
got cold
right.
and you didn't bring it
But
home?"
if you could
She
say,
smells like shit.
but if you could say, honey, I went to somebody's house
And I
to this Christmas party
Listen to the alternative.
and just assaulted the bathroom and shaded out of the place. And I realized in the Uber I left my jacket. Fuck that jacket. I swear to you, nobody has that jacket. It's at this house. If you want to track it down, you can. But the reason why I never went back for it is because I bombed the place and fucking left that without anybody seeing me.
I would rather have gotten caught.
Okay,
cheating
baby,
than
come
do
here.
this.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
You have no idea.
scratch my back, put me to sleep. You know, you poor buddy. You're like,
tummy
come here.
hurts.
Yeah, right. For God's sake.
My tummy hurts. He's still around.
Right.
David had dinner with him like in the past few months.
Feel
Like,
bad
he
for the
still
guy.
comes back
That's
around.
crazy.
Does he
Wow.
just act like it didn't happen?
Yes.
What if it's like a normal thing for him? He's like, oh, I can't help it.
blow up
My
people's
mood.
bathrooms?
My natural bathroom.
What?
Yeah,
I don't even know what I did.
bathrooms.
What are you talking about?
God
What
can't go
party?
to- God can't go to the bathroom.
The night you forgot your jacket. What? When?
But like,
Huh?
if you have
We
diarrhea,
flooded the party.
Don't you find a different bathroom?
Absolutely.
Like, you either leave or
You
you're like,
leave.
is there a restroom upstairs?
Absolutely.
Like, something
Diarrhea
it's
is
an
like
emergency.
you gotta leave.
That's.
But if you can't leave, you go upstairs.
If you just gotta go.
But then it looks weird him shading out upstairs if nobody
What
else
would
is
have been
going up
better?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean,
But
it
what,
beats the
you know,
alternative,
Yeah,
bro.
you gotta
gotta-
make the call.
It beats
gotta
the
weigh it out.
alternative.
Don't-
Either three people. are
Yeah,
gonna
look,
see
I'm
or
an architect. I
everybody's
just
gonna
wanted to
know.
go see how they did, how they drew the place.
How do you do it in the bathroom where everyone is surrounding that bathroom?
Oh.
I can't do
Like,
it. I'm
how do
out.
you just relax
Oh.
and let that
I'm out.
happen?
I don't think it was
Right?
a relaxing situation.
No.
I think it was sweat on the brow.
No doubt. Dumb and Dumber.
Jiggling doors.
Yeah.
Like, which
Yeah.
one? I'm about to go outside.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Go into the goat
Lloyd Christmas.
kennel. Yeah. Just shaving.
Yeah.
fast, effective relief.
Poor guy.
Oh, gross. Samsonite.
She's unlisted.
Mary Samsonite.
Slippy, slappy, Swanson, Swans. He's all over it.
There it is!
On the briefcase.
The whole time.
God, all-time movie.
Hunter Hall said, "Ha, it all goes back to Alabama." It does. He's a Bama guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ugh.
Bama
Trash,
people
bro.
have explosive diarrhea at Christmas parties.
Trash.
apparently.
that's it. That's what I'm saying. Thought it was normal.
know?
That's what we do in my family. Shit.
RTR, baby.
I was with the door open.
Roll Tide, roll.
We let the tag roll, man.
I will let this thing air out.
Anybody seen Tua throw it yet?
Oh my god.
Paul.
Hey,
Over here in front.
Coach Saban, you got one of those guys over there, right?
Where are the wet wipes? What the hell?
All right, we're going to LSU football practice. We're going to have a lot of takeaways for you.
Is it scrimmage day?
Scrimmage day.
Fun.
We're in. Don't expect Nussmeier out there. We will be looking at Colby Richardson, the name that you need to hear about, you need to know about in the first couple of days of camp. The transfer from McNeese could be playing opposite cornerback here from Mekhi Gardner. Sounds like he's going to be a starter. And then you've got Jerick Bernard-Converse. Obviously, Sevin Banks is coming back from that hip injury. But a name to heads up, watch out for is Colby Richardson, transfer out of McNeese, New Orleans native, 5th year in college, older guy, is seeming to have a good start to camp here. We'll tell you all about it when we come back to the Jordy Culotta Show tomorrow morning. We maybe do some content this afternoon, kind of recapping the scrimmage. Maybe so. Pay attention on your social media, at Culotta Show. Make sure and follow, like, share all of the content that's coming out. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning, maybe before then. Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Afternoon, Jay. Bye, Jewel. Louis Caro, I see you.
Did you really make?
Huh?
But you
You're
have to
in.
pay for it, right?
No, not to.